The Maxi challenge is the Snatch Game. Hello and welcome back to XOMO. And on this episode, we're back at it again with another review and recap of RuPaul's Drag Race. What episode is this? This is episode 9 of season 13. And yeah, the girls just came off their yellow runway where like both Symone and Candy Muse were saved. Candy Muse being saved and her, you know, her Oshun vibes. I definitely feel like her being like dressed up in Mama Oshun helped save her. But yeah, I poured Mama Oshun a glass of wine. And today we're sipping on the Meaux Pinot Noir. The Meaux Pinot, it's delicious. It's delicious. Like Meaux, it's top tier. It's a top tier wine brand. If you have the chance to get this, I would say definitely get it because it's delicious. Great airplanes. Okay, so moving right on to the mini challenge. So this time, the girls have to create a look made completely out of pantyhose, and they have to piece something together to audition for the Pantyhose, a punk rock band. Well, yeah, they get their fishnets together, they get to running around, piecing together looks, the girls go up. Because of the way it's edited, we're not really able to like compare who's doing well and who's doing bad. But Tina Burner ends up winning, and she wins, I think, like $2,500, like a cash dollar prize, or like just some pantyhose. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, girl, the Maxi challenge is the Snatch Game. This is one of my favorite challenges. I think like, what is it, like the Rue Olympics, the Rusical, and then right after that, I think like the Snatch Game. I think I probably like the Snatch Game more than the Rusicals. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna go down, how it's gonna work. Okay, so we're in the workroom and the girls are talking about who they're going to be doing for the Snatch Game. So I'm gonna just go through the list real quickly. Candy Muse is doing Patrick Star, and she's like, for the bitches who don't know Patrick Star, she's talking about me. The bitches who don't know who Patrick Star is a makeup mogul. Now, I don't completely like not know. I've heard of Patrick Star. I've seen Patrick Star on social media, but I've just never tuned into his videos and his products. No shade there. So again, I don't really know what to expect as far as Patrick Star goes. But I'm excited to see what Candy Muse does. Up next, we have Denali doing Jonathan Van Ness. I think this is a really good choice. Jonathan is very colorful, fun. I think there's a lot that Denali can do with Jonathan. Utica is doing Bob Ross. I don't know. We can see. I think that it's possible to do Bob Ross funny. I think it's really possible to do anybody funny. Because in the past, and I think about like some Snatch Games that I've seen, it's really just like, you can say you're the character, but you just gotta like get on stage and call bitches like, yeah, you gotta call Rue a bitch, say fuck you, you know what I mean? Make a couple of like dick sucking jokes and, you know, have a good time. That's all it really takes if you ask me. And just be like, you gotta be the character, but be in the moment. But yeah, Bob Ross, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried to see how like Utica does with Bob Ross. Rose is going to do Mary Queen of Scots. Don't know who this is, but Rose does give us a quick history lesson of like, she was the queen who got Scotland their independence back, but she was beheaded because she was a bitch to the Queen of England, which I'm not mad at. Next, we have Gottmik, who is going to be Paris Hilton. This is fucking perfect. You know, Gottmik has that Cali girl, Velcro fry thing down, and I think she's gonna like blow this out of the water. I'm pretty sure she's gonna do an awesome job as Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton would be a good fit for the Snatch Game, and I can see her fitting into the Snatch Game world pretty seamlessly. Olivia Lux is gonna be Tabitha Brown. This can go two ways. You know, like Tabitha Brown has a lot of heart. She's very warm. You know, she is funny on her social media presence. When I think about somebody standing out and being hella funny on the Snatch Game, Tabitha Brown isn't one of those people that comes to mind. Eliott is gonna be Rue Mcclanahan. Now, stone me if you would like. I'm not very familiar with the Golden Girls. I probably should be. It's kind of like a gay rites of passage. I should watch it with my mother. My mom was really into it. My mother was always really into it, but it just, I don't know. I know that Golden Girls is funny. Candy Muse says that like, you can't do Golden Girls unless you know that your performance is gonna be golden. You shouldn't touch it. Just from what I know of Eliott, I don't find Eliott to be a colorful performer. I do think that Eliott is a expressive dancer, but colorful like personality as far as like acting goes. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I don't know how she's gonna do. I'm not gonna knock her until I see it. Okay, so Rue is talking with the girls about, you know, their Snatch games. Simone is doing Harriet Tubman, which I think can be very funny. There is a drag star. I need to ask my good Judy. During quarantine, there was a drag queen who had like a Harriet Tubman or like a slave kind of rendition that I found to be funny and interesting, and also made you think about it. I do think if Simone takes this in that direction, it can prove to fare well in the competition. So Rue's talking to Utica about, you know, the choice of Bob Ross and also her afro that is made out of squirrels. I don't know why she decided to do that, but I understand why. You know, she didn't want to culturally appropriate the afro. White people do have afros, they do, which Rue brings up. And I understand why she did it. It's just like, I don't know, like, it very much gives me the vibes of like when white people don't want to be seen as racist, so they do everything in their power to not look racist instead of like actually just like, you know, not being racist. Not that I think like Utica has shown any like racist tendencies, but yeah, I just don't think that that is something she really had to worry about. Although I'm not mad at her for being scared. I think at the very least, like, white people should be uncomfortable when dealing with race. You know what I mean? Like, racial issues, and like white privilege completely stands on white comfort. So I think for white people to be uncomfortable is, I don't know, I think that's like progress in the works. If Eliott was a little more uncomfortable, we probably wouldn't be calling her Eliott with 3 Ks. Rue makes his way on over to Tina Burner and asks her who she's doing, and she's doing Richard Simmons, which I actually think is a good choice for her. Like, Richard Simmons, he's very colorful, he's fun, he's like athletic, got a lot of energy. I think he's got a good baseline to work well within the Snatch game. Rue is talking to Olivia Lux about being Tabitha Brown and gives Olivia some advice about, like, you know, give Tabitha Brown an objective, you know, and some obstacles just so that she has somewhere to go, kind of like a story plot line, which I think is good advice to give to an actor, but that's not advice I would give to somebody going into an improv game. I do think it's useful and it can apply, but there's like 35 other things I would tell somebody going into an improv challenge before I would tell them to have an objective and an obstacle. That's just me. I think those are better things to have when there's like a plot or like a storyline to go through. But without those things, I just kind of feel like that piece of advice loses its gusto, its gas. Okay, so we're in the Snatch game, and I was taking notes, but like I ran out of time and we have the commercial, so I'm just gonna go down the line. Starting off with Simone. Simone does a really good job of like making Harriet Tubman funny. She's cursing, she's having a good time. She calls Rue a nosy ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's a really good blend of like Harriet Tubman as a character. Like, there's the whole little like cultural reference. Like, I forgot they were gonna put her on a $20 bill, so she comes out with a stamp and is stamping her own face on the $100 bill. She does a lot. It's cute. It's funny. Up next is Gottmik as Paris Hilton. Gottmik does a really good job as Paris Hilton as well. It's fucking funny. Like, everything she says, it's like hilarious. It's like gut busting. Her character is spot on. Her voice is perfect, sounds just like Paris Hilton. She looks just like her. She knows Paris Hilton like personally, so like everything is really hitting the way it's supposed to hit. Rosé's queen is funny. Very, very funny. She's cursing a lot. She's talking about fucking bastard. She hates Tabitha Brown's like vegan food. Half the time I don't really know what she's saying, but like at the end you get the punchline and it's funny, which is like, you know, that's what you need. You know what I mean? Like, you could say, like, when you're working with the accent, I think it's very funny to say a bunch of like weird shit that people might not catch. But if you get the punchline in the end, it really hits. Richard Simmons, Tina Burner does a good job. I can't say it's like fantastic by any means. Like, she does come in, like, I do get a couple of laughs. Nothing's like too gut busting. I don't hate it or love it, you know what I mean? But she does a fairly well job. Up next is Candy Muse. Candy Muse does a good job. Again, like tonally, the voice, I've heard Patrick Star, even though I don't know them too well, but I've heard the voice. The voice tonally still sounds like Candy Muse. But Candy Muse is giving, she's volleying really well with RuPaul. Her answers are funny, so I can't complain too much. Who's after that? After that is Olivia Lux and her Tabitha Brown. It's not good. It's not good. And it's giving she don't even know how to improv. You know what I mean? She looks good. She looks cute, but like Rue is asking her questions. She can't really answer them in a well way. It's not funny. Yeah, it sucks. Up next is Rue Mcclanahan. She's just as terrible. She's just as terrible. She don't know how to volley with Rue. Her answers aren't hitting. Again, I'm not too familiar with Rue Mcclanahan, so I can't speak too much as to the character, but her whole, like, it's a sexual character, I'm assuming, who likes men and sex. But all she can say is, I like gentlemen. I like men. Rue's like, what kind of men? Men. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere, and it's not landing. Jonathan Van Ness. Who? Denali's great. Denali's great. Denali is wonderful. Denali even steals a couple of laughs from Rue Mcclanahan because she's not doing her job. Denali is like a really good performer in this. Like, her character is there. She knows the Queer Eye references, so she's able to like pay attention, you know, pull it back, tie it into who her character is, but still make the answers funny. And I think that would leave us with Utica. Utica, girl. It's bad. Like, whereas like Olivia and Eliott, it's just not good. Like, Utica is bad. It's bad. Her whole like environments thing. Then she's eating on paint. She don't sound like Bob Ross. I really need Utica to get it together because she ain't had a good Maxi challenge in weeks. I mean, she gives us fashion on the runway every single week. Again, I will say that she gives me some of my favorite looks, but this Snatch Game is a trash game for her. Trash. Okay, so a little bit of tea. So the girls are getting ready for their runway, and Denali and Utica are talking, and Denali's asking Utica, okay, so who do you think is gonna be in trouble? Who do you think might be in the bottom? And she says like Olivia. Olivia's character isn't really well known, which I don't think is like the case. I think Tabitha Brown is pretty well known. Well, I know Tabitha Brown, and I'm a vegan girl, so maybe I'm a little biased. But that's besides the point. Besides the point is, Olivia can hear them, and Olivia pops in and says, oh, she's like, you know, she's on the confessional camera, and she's like, that's different from what I heard. Because Olivia asked Utica when they got off the stage, and Utica told her that she thought she did a good job. But for them to be getting ready to go on the runway and for Utica to switch up and all of a sudden say, oh, I think that you could be in trouble, I think is concerning. I think it's fair for Olivia to have that concern. Like, why is your story switching up? Why is your narrative changing? And again, here goes Tina Burner, of course. Here's her diva coming out. But I think anybody should be upset by that. You know what I mean? If I talk to you personally and you tell me one thing, but here you go and kiki with somebody else, but you tell them something else, it's giving fake energy. It's giving fake energy. But yeah, just needed to bring that tea to you before we get to the runway. Okay, so the look this week is fascinating fascinators. First up, we have Olivia Lux. I really like this look. It's beautiful. I like the white coat. It definitely looks like there's a reveal there, but it's not Olivia like glamour, which she has given us like almost every single runway up to this point. It is a concept, which I was just asking for in our last episode. I like the head like Mercury piece, the purple gloves. I love the color palette, the green eyes. I'm a fan. I like the wig as well. It's nice. It's a nice compliment. Rosé looks good as well. She's giving us a rose. It's all made of ruffles. There's like stones and spikes and thorns on it. It looks good. This is probably my favorite thing I've seen from Rosé. 10s across the board. Utica looks great as always. You know, it's like picnic print. I love the picnic basket. I really love the sleeves. I'm not sure what's going on with the sleeves as far as the concept goes, but I'm glad about it because it, like, you know, it adds something quirky, fun to the look, which I like. I also like the ants coming up the leg, the mix of the blue and the red picnic basket. But yeah, it's fabulous. Simone looks fabulous and gorgeous as well. I really like the cinch waist and the spiky hip pads look nice. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the head. Oh, okay. Turned around, it says their name with the bullet hole spots. Yes, again, she's Black Lives Matter. She's giving us movement, which I love that Simone is doing. And then just thinking about when this was probably recorded, it was probably recorded last fall, last summer. So it's like the prime opportunity. And I just love what Simone is doing with her platform and also looking fabulous. Gottmik comes out with this stunning punk blood. I like this. What is it, like a safety pin on her head with a blood drop on the end? It's all her, you know what I mean? Very on brand for Gottmik, and she looks fabulous. I love the heels. Look at her shoes. Look at her shoe. It's like messy, but she manages to make it look fashionable. Here comes Denali. I love Denali. It's very cute. I love seeing her on her skates. This makes me quite excited. I really like the coffee cup. It's fun. I don't know how she did that. It's great. It almost looks kind of simple, but it's drag. You know what I mean? She does the drag bit well, because it could almost, like, if she didn't have the prop and the headpiece or the skates, it might just look like a work uniform. I'm not gonna lie. But like with the whole ensemble and the way she's presenting it, it's fabulous and I love it. I do wish she gave us like a shoe or a boot, you know what I mean, to make the bottom like pop to help match everything else. I hate what Eliott is wearing. It's like flamingo. The hair looks ratty. The flamingo thing is kind of like, I kind of like the headpiece, but I don't like the drapey like nude. It's not flattering and it doesn't look good. Tina Burner's giving us like horse rider, you know what I mean? I like the whip. I love the look. I just like, the thing is like, she's a camp queen. It looks good. She looks fabulous in it. The brown, the red, the purse. Part of me just wishes that she didn't have the horse on her head. I would like this look with just a good wig. You know, sometimes I just want it like, no cam, give us a good wig. I think that's what I'm gonna start looking for Tina Burner, is a fabulous look without the camp additive. Candy Muse, she gives us Candy Muse. She gives us this great headpiece. I do wish, like, I don't know, it looks a little like flimsy. Her headpiece looks a little flimsy walking down the runway, but I think she looks good in it. I love the pattern. She looks great on the pattern. The shoes, I like the black sleeves, the plain black sleeves. They contrast really nicely to the bigger, just like fluffier, fun print. She looks good as well. I also really like her makeup. I love a black lip. I'm a slut for a black lip. Okay, so it's time for the judges' critiques. And Candy Muse, Simone, and Tina Burner are safe. But before they are allowed to leave the stage, RuPaul thanks Simone for bringing that powerful and poignant message to the stage. Off the safe queens go, which leaves us with Olivia, Rosé, Gottmik, Utica, Denali, and Eliott with 2 T's. I'm just going straight down the line. So Olivia, Michelle Visage thanks Olivia for bringing us this new look. It brings versatility to the stage from what we know of Olivia, but they did not like her Tabitha Brown. There were so many catchphrases she could have used that she did not use. It really became flat, and about her just being like vegan, and it just wasn't brought to life because she has a husband, she has kids. There were so many other things that she could have done that she did not do. Up next is Rosé. So Michelle Visage mentions that like Rosé always has like a ruffle, flare, fluffy moment, and it usually serves the girls clown. She said no shade, but that bitch was shady. It was shady. It usually serves clown, but in this instance, it was very flattering because you saw her shoulders, the spikes around her waist and down the sleeves were flattering as well. And the rose looked fantabulous. They also like how they brought this 16th century character to life. T.S. Madison loves the dynasty of Tudor, as I believe she said. And she was cursing, she was kind of uncouth, and she was talking about all these contemporary things that this woman wouldn't have known anything about, and they liked her performance overall. Up next, we have Utica. They said her outfit is very cute. It's very cute. Every week she proves herself as a fashion queen on the stage, but her Snatch Game wasn't it. It wasn't funny. There were no laughs. There were no laughs. It was weird. It wasn't even giving Bob Ross and the soothing melodic voice that people. I think there was a missed opportunity. I think if she said that Bob Ross was like just high off of some weed, you know what I mean? She could have had a whole off of the edible or something. She could have had a good performance. She could have had a good performance, you know, but she don't want to tell the girls that she smoked weed. Denali, they said usually her look is something that they would clock as costumey, but they really liked it because of the presentation, because her fastener was great. She came out on the skates. It was fun, enchanting. They were wrapped up in it. Yeah, and it was a good look. And they also liked her Jonathan Van Ness. Gottmik comes and serves looks on the stage every single week, and she never disappoints when it comes to her runway look. And her Paris Hilton was perfect. I think Carson Kressley said that she came out and it was robotic, lackadaisical, and pedantic. And he's like, it's perfect. It's definitely Paris Hilton, which is exactly what Paris Hilton is. The performance, and then even her essence. It was the perfect representation of Paris Hilton. They said that she did her research and all she had to do was just come out there, be at ease, and respond to the questions. And last but not least, we have Eliott with 2 T's. Michelle Visage said at first she wasn't sure if she liked it or she hated it. I hated it. But she said once she got into the idea and the concept that it was like a flamingo, she started to like it, and she liked it as a concept. But her Rue Mcclanahan, T.S. Madison said that they were looking for, she did this motion, that they were looking for sultry. You know what I mean? It's like sexy without being lustful. But it wasn't there. It just wasn't there. Okay, so after the judges' critiques and the girls come back out, we find out that, that Gottmik is our winner, and she wins this Maxi challenge. She wins the Snatch Game. Which she very much deserves. She does a fabulous job. I very much agree with this decision. And we end up having Utica and Eliott with 2 T's in the very bottom, and they have to lip sync against each other, which again makes sense in my decision. This is like a perfect judging scenario. They lip sync to Fascinated by Champion B. It's kind of like a techno song, kind of like a disco techno song. I'm not too familiar with it, but it's a good lip sync. I don't think it's bad, but again, I think Utica's quirkiness really works out for herself in her favor. Just because I don't know, she's kind of moving in this weird way, but she's moving in it energetically and weird, and she's exuding a lot of energy. And again, Eliott is moving nicely, but that exuding of energy isn't there. Utica ends up winning and stays, and Eliott unfortunately goes home, and that's the end of our episode. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions about what went on. Thank you for watching. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know how you felt. Do you agree with everything that went on this episode? Do you feel differently about anything I said? And until next time, this is XO Meaux. Bye.